Ryan, why are we seeing lots of Lang work holding systems in the marketplace on 5-axis machines like this? Why do you think?
I think it's maximum flexibility, to be honest with you. I've got the 0-point clamps down on this machine. Basically, I can arrange, obviously, any of the macro grip vices in pretty much any configuration I like. I can also, by making transition plates, adapt any other vice to that system. So I use all the macro grip vices, and obviously for the larger capacity work, I have a set of Garadi vices on there. However, the macro grip system is pretty incredible. I mean, it's a low torque system. So you can have maximum overhang from even the smallest devices. I had a job I was cutting on there about a week ago, and I probably had about 300 mil of overhang out of their smallest vice, and was managing to machine that job at 5 meters a minute.
We'll come back to the vices in a minute, but the actual setup here of having like a 0-point clamping referencing system, what benefit does that give to a user on a 5-axis machine? What is it? How does it help them?
Okay, well it's modular for a start, which means that once you've got it in place, it's plug and play. So you can take a vice out with the job in it, replace it. If you want to lay that system across, maybe you've got multiple machines, you can actually transfer your work holding from one machine to another. There is a case on the 5-axis where we'll hit 5 sides on this machine. Then I might put the last side on the other machine. That means I can free capacity back up on the 5-axis again to take care of 5-sided work.
And when you move it, you're going to get repeatable positioning, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's very, very accurate. Obviously, they're ground plates. Tame will also supply you with a gauge to help you set them up. So it's to make a good job of referencing the gauges in the first place. I also go a stage further. I reference each single one of those plates to an offset in the machine. So I can run from any given work offset that I actually place on the job, or I can go to each position of each plate and call that in as an offset in its own right.
And on here you've got 5 plates, so does that mean you could get 5 vices on there if you chose to, the macro grip vices?
Absolutely, yes, I can. I can have all sorts of configurations. Yes, I could have 5 macro grip vices with independent work pieces in. I can either put a larger central riser on if I want to, and that riser can be then moved to any one of the positions. So yes, again, it's just for us as an R&D department here at Electa, it's all about flexibility.
And the mechanics of that seem quite straightforward, putting the different vices onto the 0-point clamping plates. What about then going about the programming? Because this is a Haas UMC 750 5-axis machine which you've recently purchased. How do you then marry the two up?
Okay, I mean, basically one of the things you can do is if you're running an offline cam system, you can actually draw that into your cam system, or you can just position the top of your job, your actual workpiece, into those known positions. So I basically set all my plates up to round figures. So they're easy to remember, you know exactly where they are, and you can position any job you like in your offline cam system, or if you're programming at the control, you can do it that way. You know the position, you've clocked it in accurately, so basically it becomes modular.
Why would I want to put 5 vices on this table? It might seem like a crazy question, but often with a 5-axis machine you just put one in the middle and you can attack all 5 faces, can't you? If I've got 5 on there, there's a face I can't get to, is that correct?
It depends where you're working. I mean, obviously on any 5-axis machine there is a one face you can't get to, which is obviously the work holding face itself. So
2 faces then, maybe.
Okay, that's it. It basically depends where you position the job and what you're going to do. Some jobs are, kind of effectively long rectangular workpieces, in which case it actually makes sense to straddle 2 of the plates. So it's not necessarily about the fact you can't get to a face, it's what you're actually trying to machine, and the fact that if you do it this way, then you can take small componentry and large scale componentry.
And I think you're demonstrating that here. We've got a huge part on here, whereas you could have, like you said already, 5 smaller macro vices with 5 components on. You can go from one to the other very quickly, knowing what position the machine or the parts are in.
Absolutely, I could just take that job straight off the machine now, plug the macro grip vice in, I already know where the offset is, I've loaded it into the machine's offset page, and then I can just pick up the job from the offline cam system and immediately start that job with as little fuss as possible.
So I suppose that answers my initial question then, why there is so many Lang work holding solutions out there from Tame in the market. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you, Paul.